it's not. There is the green light. Looks like a good start for Ben Philipp there in pole position, but also for Sondre Evjen, who is caught up behind him there.
Yes, Evjen moving himself right up the inside and getting himself a good place up to P2 from P3 on the grid, so making the most of that inside line and able to muscle his way up through.
So that is Ben Philipp, followed by Sondre, followed by Linus. Our top three just after the start has gone, and we have had a couple of drivers also go into the Joker lap on the first lap.
So a bit concerned there for Ben Philipp Gunnarsson, taking a lot of curb on the chicane there. I spoke to Ulrich Lindemann earlier, and he damaged the rim on that curb earlier in the day. And Ben Philipp throwing himself up into two wheels as he goes over the curb, so he's got to be very careful he's not picked up a bit of damage.
Just a great battle going on here between Linus Östlund and Sondre Evjen. Seems almost to me that Linus perhaps has a little bit more speed.
Yeah, potentially. I think he needs to get himself in the Joker if he feels like he has that extra pace. Maybe he'll wait till the next lap, try and pull a bit of a gap to the guys that have already gone into the Joker, get himself in and out and give him the clear air.
Interesting development here. Ben Philipp Gunnarsson pulling away a bit, but hopefully without any technical issues after that big curve. But he's having a really great day. He struggled a little bit with a bad start in Q1, but Q2 and Q3 were just fantastic for him.
Yeah, like you say, traffic in Q1 hindered his progress, but we've seen fantastic performances throughout the day, and he's been the guy on form so far this season, racing in the RX2
okay,
class.
Linus Östlund has fallen down to almost at the back of the grid. What happened to him? I did not see it.
I mean, I'm not sure. The car looks slow, so maybe he picked up a puncture.
So he's going into the Joker now. Things seem to be looking all right.
A little bit messy in the Joker there, not able to get the car rotated as he wished, but maybe we'll see some pace picked back up in the 18 car.
So an incident there for Linus Östlund. We're not sure exactly what that was, but it did make him fall back quite a few places in this semi-final. Like mentioned earlier, the top three finishers of the semi-final will be moving through to the final. At the moment, that is Ben Philipp Gunnarsson, Sondre Evjen and Martin Jonsson.
Of course, none of those guys have taken the Joker lap. As you can see in the top left corner of your screen, the yellow arrow indicates whether or not the Joker lap has been taken. So we could be seeing Jonsson here in a bit of trouble. There's not much of a gap behind him to Oskarsson.
And to me, it seems like Linus Östlund has fallen off completely, and he is no longer in our pictures, but perhaps he has just slowed down so much that we cannot see him at the moment, but seems to be some technical issue for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can see him from our commentary position. He's not going so well, quite slowly around the back of the field, so not the greatest start to his season.
So if we look at Jonsson and Oskarsson with this gap for the Joker lap, how big is the gap at the moment?
So we're looking at roughly 1.2 seconds, which isn't quite going to be enough. So we're about to find out. Jonsson goes into the Joker lap, and it's not going to be enough. So Oskarsson's now booking himself a place in the final.
And he even comes out behind Norsaw there.
And then a mistake there as well, losing extra time. So maybe a bit of trouble there with Oskarsson's car. He seems to be twitching a lot coming out of the velodrome. I can see out the commentary position, he's being challenged by Norsaw coming down the hill up towards the jump. Norsaw is coming up the inside of him out of the commentary position. We can't see it on your pictures, but Norsaw has managed to get through and got himself a place in the final.
Oh, wow. Drama there on the very last meters of this Supercar Light semi-final. But it is won by Ben Philipp Gunnarsson, who is one happy driver in there, and Sondre Evjen behind him. And like you mentioned, Petter Norsaw, who got himself up into third position there. But a great race, great start from both Ben Philipp Gunnarsson and Sondre Evjen from further back.
Yeah, so both taking advantage of that inside line and muscling their way through, give themselves that bit of space in the front.
Very unfortunate for Linus Östlund. This is his home track. High hopes for the weekend, but an incident in this semi-final took him out of the final.
Yeah, it wasn't to be his this time, but tomorrow we have a round two. Maybe he'll be able to get the car prepped overnight and put in a better performance tomorrow. As we see here, the issue between Oskarsson and Norsard. Oskarsson not having the pace, and Norsard managed to get through in the final corner and take his place in the final. But Ben Philip Gundersen, it was out in front and taking his place in the front row.
So here we have the results from semi-final 2 Supercar Lights, won by Ben Philip Gundersen. Second is Sondre Evjen, and third there, right at the last moment, Petter Norsard.